The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Right now, France and the West are completely losing their grip on West Africa, specifically AES, and Vladimir Putin is moving to take over, absolute takeover, while the mainstream media is distracted. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov just touched down directly in Niamey, Niger. He didn't go there for a polite diplomatic chat. He went to lock down an alliance with three of the most heavily armed military in the Sahel: Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. These three countries have kicked out French troops, told the US, pack and go, and formed their own breakaway bloc called the AES, the Alliance of the Sahel States. Now, Russia is stepping in as the ultimate geopolitical bodyguard. Here is the raw truth about what is actually happening on the ground and why the West is absolutely terrified. When politicians say security and sovereignty, it sounds like boring paperwork. But on the ground in the Sahel, it's a matter of survival. For over a decade, the Sahel region has been trapped in a brutal, bloody war against TT groups and insurgencies. The West poured billions of dollars and thousands of troops into the region to fix it. The result? The violence got worse, and local populations felt like Western armies were just occupying their land instead of actually solving the problem. So, the military leadership in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger took power into their own hands. When they talk about sovereignty, they mean cutting the umbilical cord to Paris and Washington completely. They are building a brand new regional military architecture. And instead of asking permission from the West, they brought in Sergei Lavrov to formalize Russia as their new defense partner. Lavrov didn't mince his words during this meeting. He explicitly stated that Russia and the Sahel are joined as the hip in a fight against neocolonial practices by Western nations. This is the exact narrative the Sahel leaders want to hear, and is why this alliance is working.
Dear colleagues, dear friends, first of all, I would like to express on behalf of our delegation and myself sincere gratitude for the warm welcome on Sahel soil and, of course, to the president of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant and the host of today's meeting, Mr. Yao Sandale Bahari.
I am in Niamey for the first time, and it is very, very pleasant that recently I have managed to visit all three capitals of the Sahel states. With the opening of the Russian embassy in Nigeria, we now...
And of course, I am grateful to our friend Kalama Ojomali Parolo, the chairman of the Sahel States Alliance, for the coordination and significant contribution to the preparation of today's meeting. We have very intensive contacts, which colleagues from Niger and Mali have just mentioned.
Significant progress has been made in integration, forming a new regional security architecture under the aegis of the alliance, and the voice of the Confederation is becoming increasingly clear. And today's second ministerial consultations in the Russia-Sahel States Alliance format will allow us to identify additional ways for our country to support the integration tasks you are addressing, and of course tasks in ensuring reliable security. We are united by a common understanding of the need to form a spontaneous regional structure, joint work against neo-colonial practices which are very much alive among our Western colleagues.
We expect that the cooperation between Russia and the Alliance of Sahel states will give an additional impetus to strengthening the sovereignty of our countries, expanding bilateral ties and ties in the multilateral format in which we are gathered today. In October, the third Russia-Africa summit will take place in Moscow, and President Putin, wishing success to our meeting, asked to convey to your leaders that he would be very pleased to see the presidents of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger at this summit. Its agenda will focus on issues of economy, trade, and investment. Therefore, we expect that your delegations will include the relevant ministers and business representatives. We will be glad to see them at the Economic and Humanitarian Forum, which will take place on the sidelines of the summit. And of course, we expect that all my colleagues present here will also participate.
Excellency, this speech reflects the Russian Federation's desire to follow us and strengthen this cooperation with the states of the AES Confederation.
Excellency, Honorable Prime Minister, now I have the great honor to invite
His Excellency Mr. Karamogo, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Regional Cooperation and Cultabet Abroad, representing Burkina Faso, which holds the presidency of the Confederation of Sahel States, will deliver the opening speech of this session.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Mr. Sergei Lavrov, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation, Your Excellency, Mr. Bakary Yahou Sangare, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Cooperation, and Nigerians Abroad of the Republic of Niger, dear Dean, Excellency Mr. Abdoulaye Diop, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Republic of Mali, dear brother, ladies and gentlemen, high officials, ladies and gentlemen, ambassadors, distinguished guests, having the advantage of speaking after everyone else, I think I could save on the summary that has been made here by my brother Diop and Sangare on all the steps we have taken together in the framework of cooperation between the AES and the Russian Federation. It is always with renewed pleasure and a sense of legitimate pride that we always take part in the meeting that brings together Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger.
Russia is telling these countries, the West treats you like colonies. We treat you like equals. By backing the AES, Russia gets exactly what it wants, a massive strategic foothold right in the backyard of Europe. This isn't just about Russia, weapons, or military trainers. The strategy is quickly pivoting into a massive economic takeover. During the meeting, Lavrov dropped a major update. The king of the world, Vladimir Putin, has issued a personal invitation to the residents of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso to fly to Moscow for the Russian-African Summit. And look at the agenda they are setting up. It is not about defense anymore. It's about trade, finance, and major investment. These are bringing in local business leaders and economic ministers to build a financial shield. The AES has already established its own developmental bank to pull sovereign funds from their massive gold and uranium reserves. For all this while, all we see is foreign people sitting in their mansions and always order the African to be there. Whenever we get there, what do we see? We hear lectures. But Sergei Lavrov brought a message that we are going to respect your sovereignty. We are going to work with you. This is not the time for us to come and lecture you because you already know what to do. This is the time we want to be with you. We are going to be talking about finances. We are going to be talking about trade because this is very important. We know Niger's uranium has been locked simply because France has decided that nobody should purchase this. Because of its veto power, nobody wants to go against it. Russia coming in to talk about trade is an opportunity for Niger to finally have a buyer of its uranium, and personally inviting them to Moscow is a very brilliant move, because these three leaders will have the chance to sit with the president of Russia one-on-one to discuss the most critical issues. Others sit down to tell us that without them, we can't do anything. And having the Russian foreign minister in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso to discuss this security crisis at this crucial time sends a strong message that the narrative that the West created, that Russia was going to abandon the Sahelian countries, isn't true. Especially we saw the propaganda and the video I showed you from one French man saying they've given them 2 weeks and Russia was going to pack out. So it's either they make a deal with these TT people, or within 2 weeks, these are leaders, especially they mentioned the Malian leader was going to be taken out. All in all, General Assimi Goïta, which we know didn't happen. So Russia is proving to the world that, having seen these leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, we are joined together. Like the rightful put it, nothing is going to separate us, and nothing is going to make me turn my back on them. Yes, we should be ready, because when it comes to partnership, they might also need something from us, like the resources that we have. So a lot of us will have the notion that we are leaving the West and handing over the resources to the Russians. But that is not going to be the case. We determine the prices, unlike those days where these ones sit down, decide the prices that they think they will buy these things without us being involved. But Russia isn't treating us the way other people are treating us, to the point that, like Captain Ibrahim Traore said, when they were even looking for things to protect themselves, the equipment, they decided not to sell to them. And those who were ready to sell to them, they have to block them. This is not what we call partnership. But Russia is giving us whatever we want. We are seeing the training that they are giving to our people, because our all in all said, we don't need them to feed us. And the last visit he went, he said, we are interested in your technology. We are interested in your research, in your science. Teach us these things so we can use these things to protect and defend ourselves. This is what we call sovereignty. This is why we are moving towards the Russians, because even in history, they have never tried to colonize the African, and they have been the ones who have always stood by us whenever we are fighting for independence. So those of us with the mentality that it's just going to be like moving from one place to the other, it's not true. And during the time of these attacks that we are seeing happening in the Sahel that he decided to visit, shows how much connected these three nations are to Russia. And this is the unity and partnership we are looking for. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come.